Okay, so hi guys, everybody. Um, my name is Dr. Dushan. This is just a simple demo and test, and we're just gonna see how to do the streaming. And then later on, I'm planning to have these live classes on various different topics. So for now, let's just discuss little very quickly about Java. So this is a live stream. Actually, I have not big experience of this, so I'm just testing few things out, seeing how this is, and then I'll later on play back and that matter. So now we're gonna just work with something called Java. Now everybody knows Java is an awesome language, or if you don't know, Java is an awesome language. It is one of the most popular languages around the world. It has so many functionalities, so many possibilities that's unimaginable. And how do we work with Java? What's the Java basic course? So I'm planning to start this whole new course on Java programming, and I'm intending to do this as a live class so that you can attend this class, ask questions, and so on and so forth. So in today's session, I'm just going to discuss the basics of Java, the absolute basics for the first time. So for the first timer, if you are starting Java programming, whenever you start the code, what you need to do is, again, first you need to download VS Code. So I have already downloaded the VSS Code. Okay. It's easily available on the website. Just go on the Google, search and out, and it should be okay. Then within VS Code, you just need to search out certain app extensions. So if you come here, click on Java, there are various different extensions available, and you need to install them. So extension pack for Java, debugger for Java, and test runner for Java. Or if you write the Java code, VS Code will automatically suggest that there are certain extensions required. You need to download them, and if you download them, it should be all okay. Then you might need what we call JDK. So that JDK is available from Java's developer website here. So you can go on Google and search Java's JDK, or you can go on to the Oracle website and download the latest version of Java 22 available, and make sure you have this JDK. Okay. So two things. You need to download the JDK. Go on to the oracle.com website. I will try to leave the link in the description. If I can, I don't know how I can do that, but as I said, I'm just testing this live thing out. But I will try to do that. So let's leave the link on the YouTube channel if I possibly can. Come back here, and as you can see, here it is. So I don't know if I can. Let me leave it in chat for now, and then later on we can see if it can be revoked. Okay. So once we have that, and if I disclose this as well, so once you download the Oracle, then go into the VS Code and install these couple of extensions. That will make your life a lot easy inside the VS Code. Once you are done here, now we start writing the code. Now the first thing we do within Java is we write a class. Every Java code must start with the class block. Okay, no matter what you do, every Java class needs to have a class and a class name. So for example, in my case, I'm using test as a class name. So this is a class. This indicates that we are writing Java's class, and then we class name, because Java is considered as a pure object oriented language. So it considers everything within the scope and dimensions of objects and classes. That's it. So technically, at the topmost level, we can say, in a general sense, we have a class and we have an object. We write everything inside the class. All the data, definitions, and properties, everything goes here, and then we create objects and use this class data. Okay. Hopefully it just makes sense a little bit, I hope. Okay. So I will explain more this as we go along. So this object oriented principle, what a class and objects are, in later sessions and other live classes, we will try to do that. Okay. It all depends on interest, how many people are interested in learning Java, and this live session works or not. Okay. Anyway, so whenever we write the Java, make sure you start with the class. You give a class name. Now any name is preferable, but just a couple of rules, like there should not be any space between the name. This creates a problem. The class should not start with a number. This again creates a problem. Just try to use it a basic numeric letter. Capital, small actually doesn't really matter. Then once we are inside the class, the next most important thing we do is we declare the main method. So we say public static void main bracket start, and then we say string, and then we give an argument array type, block start, and block close. Now what did we did here? There are basic few things that have been done. First, this is a method. This is a method inside Java called main method. This or the purpose of this main method is that it uses our Java indicator, or uses our console, or uses our system to tell that this is the first class in my code and this is what it needs to execute. Simply speaking, your program can contain hundreds of methods. Your program can contain hundreds of classes. You could have so many classes, so many methods, so many custom functions and methods working with you. But what should happen when you execute the code for the first time? Okay, what should happen when you deploy this code to the user's computer? When the user double clicks on your icon, what should happen? Which line of code gets executed first? That's the key point. So this main method is actually the by default given by the compiler in its instruction, that every time a user clicks on your code, every time you click on this run button, the first thing that I will execute will be this main method. And then whatever you write inside it, and however, you can have hundreds of codes linked to each other, but the first root hierarchy of your execution point is always the main method. Okay, so that's why we need to write this earlier. The syntax of it is that it's supposed to be public, means it is accessible outside of the class, it can be used outside of the class, and it needs to be static. Again, we will talk more about static methods and objects and variables little bit deep down inside Java in later sessions. But typically it means that we can access the main method without creating the object of this test class. Okay, so by just specifying the class name and the main, I can easily call it without creating the object. Remember, just few seconds ago I said that you need an object to use it, but if I declare it static, now no longer object is needed. Void means that when I execute this method, there will be no answer given back to me. So if I ask you a question, you reply, that's a reply, that's an answer. That is what a return type in programming basically means. So void means that there is no return type. When this method executes, it will not reply to me. As simple as that. Okay, so the main is there. Then we give it certain arguments, that when this method executes, it might take some arguments, not one, couple of arguments. That's why we have used array sign and provided that argument of type to be string. Okay, what are arrays, how a string works, and what type of data can be stored in a string? Again, this isn't something we will talk more about in later on sessions. So this becomes the basic syntax. Now, second thing to note about this code so far is we have written a class name, we have started a block. Okay, that's the key thing. Block started here, block ended here. Everything now we write must go inside the class body. Nothing exists outside the class. If I can create another class here. Okay, so I can class test 2, for example, block start, block close. This is fine as long as I am using class outside the block here. So again, if I'm creating another class, it has to have a block close. So everything will go inside this block of code. So blocks are quite important in Java. Second, inside this block, I created this method public. Again, a block started here and then block closed here. So now if I need to write any functions or any thing that this method is supposed to do, has to go inside this method. Okay, so I delete this thing and I will write to print simple output. To do that, we say hello. Let's write system dot out dot print ln. Okay, and then I will say hello world. Okay, uh, hello world. Wonderful. So now what this hopefully should do is when I execute this code, it will print out the hello world for me. Okay. So if you execute it, you get this output called hello world. What now we have done, we have written a Java statement. Statement means a line of code that actually gets executes and does some task. So what this basically means, we have told that, hey, there is a class within Java just like this called system. Within that system, there's an inner class called out, and then it has a function called println, system.out.println. So we are accessing a library class called system. Inside the library class, there's a inner class called out. Inside the inner class, there's a method called println. Okay, and then we are asking it to print on a new line. Ln basically means a new line. Word called hello world. Simple as that. So if I need to print something else, so I will need to write hello system dot, I will say out, and I will say listen println, and go here and I will say Welcome to uh, Learn with W3SCH Schools. Okay, and then semicolon. So now again another thing is, because we are writing a string, it has to go inside inverted quotations. If I don't use inverted quotations, Java will complain. So if I run this code, Java will say, hey, there's a problem, there's something not working here. I think it's not executing this code. Oh, okay, we haven't saved it. Make sure you save this code and then execute it, and then it will create so many errors for us. Okay, so once you save it and then execute this code, it will, Java will say, listen, this is some issue here, something is expected bracket or some other symbol is not working, because Java doesn't understand this. So Java says, hey, I need inverted quotations because you're writing a text, you're writing a string, this string has to be inverted quotations. Then you close this with a semicolon. Okay, so this becomes a typical syntax. So if you have never done programming before, this is how we write a simple statement. So we write a function names, in this case system.out.println, then bracket start, bracket close. Okay, these bracket indicates an argument to be passed. So basically this becomes a function println. It is taking an argument like input value, so it is taking some value, and this print method will print the output on the screen. But this print method needs system.out, these are class name dot inner class name, and we are accessing them without creating the object because they are also static. Okay, again we talk about this later on. So this is a basic syntax of printing: bracket start, bracket close, inverted quotation marks, and we write our string, and then we semicolon, use semicolon to end the statement. That's it. Okay, semicolons are quite important. Every statement must end with a semicolon in Java. Then once you execute it, if there is no error, Java will give you an output. And this time again, sorry, because I've not saved it, see this white dot indicates the file has not been saved. Let me press Control S, hit run again, and hopefully if there's no problem, now I get an output. If there's an error, Java will give me an error here. Okay, hopefully it will tell me that something is missing, some issues is there at what line number, and then we have to debug. We talk more about later on. So this is the first basic typical JavaScript, Java code. Okay, not JavaScript, blah, blah, too much JavaScript work be doing. Anyway, so this is the first basic Hello World program of Java. Hopefully, this live test session works fine. Let me know if anybody's watching. I don't know anybody's watching or not. This is a brand new channel. If you are, please subscribe. Let me know in comments if you want to learn more about Java. And I'm hoping to have this live sessions, talk more about Java sessions, and go much more in depth in complete Java course. Okay. So thank you for now. See you in next live class, hopefully soon.